Each morning presents you with a choice, a simple yet powerful decision that determines the course of your day and the direction of your life. Before the world presses its demands upon you, before the noise of distractions rushes in, you stand at a fork in the road. And it is in that quiet, sacred moment, just after waking, that the seeds of success must be sown. The most successful men and women of history, those who turned dust into dynasties and failure into fortune, understood one truth: the mind is the master power that molds and makes. And each morning they claimed command over it before it could be claimed by the world. You must do the same, and here is how. Begin each day with purpose, not by checking your phone or racing through routines, but by sitting still and going inward. Begin with your mind, because it is your greatest tool and your most faithful servant, if you train it. Close your eyes and declare the kind of day you will have, not with wishful thinking, but with bold, unwavering intent. I will succeed today. I will dominate every challenge. I will give more than I take. I will grow, I will serve, I will rise. Speak it with conviction, not as a dreamer hoping for a miracle, but as a builder laying the foundation of a skyscraper. Feel it surge through your blood. See it unfold before your inner vision. Success does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who act as if it were already theirs. Your thoughts are orders. Your words are blueprints. Your emotions are fuel. The world will try to shake your confidence. It will tempt you with doubt, fear, and mediocrity. But when you have declared your day in advance, when you have chosen your mindset with precision, the world loses its grip. You no longer react, you direct. After affirming your intention, read something that uplifts your spirit, a paragraph of wisdom, a line of truth, a message that reminds you of who you are and what you are capable of. Feed your soul the nutrients it needs to thrive. Just as the body cannot live on yesterday's food, your spirit cannot soar on yesterday's inspiration. Nourish it daily. Make it part of your morning ritual. Then take 5 minutes to visualize the life you are building, not the life you hope for, but the life you are claiming. Picture it as clearly as a photograph. Walk through the rooms of your future home. Feel the handshake of your next opportunity. Hear the applause after your greatest achievement. The mind does not know the difference between reality and imagination. What you repeatedly visualize, you begin to move toward. Now, with your mind sharpened, your vision clarified, and your purpose set, take pen and paper and write down your most vital objectives for the day. Not 10, not 20, just 3. 3 goals that, if accomplished, will move you closer to your definite purpose. Let your morning focus dictate your daily actions. Scatter your energy and you achieve little. Aim your energy and you become unstoppable. When this becomes a habit, when every morning begins with vision, affirmation, inspiration, and focused intention, success no longer becomes a possibility. It becomes inevitable. You see, success does not begin in the boardroom. It does not begin in your bank account. It begins in your thoughts, your rituals, your mornings. It begins the moment you rise and claim dominion over your mind. For the person who begins the day with power ends the day with victory. So tomorrow morning, do not leave your life to chance. Do not rise and drift. Rise and decide. Declare your purpose. Fuel your belief. Write your mission, and then step into the day with certainty. The world steps aside for the man who knows where he is going, and every morning you must remind yourself that you are that man. There is a silent hour before the world begins to shout, before obligations, distractions, and interruptions reach for your attention. It is in this golden moment, right upon waking, that you must take control of the one power that governs all success, the mind. The day belongs not to the man who wakes up late and reacts, but to the man who rises early and commands. If you would win in this world, you must first win the battle within. That battle begins each morning. Upon waking, you must understand that your mind is open, unguarded, and impressionable. In this moment, it absorbs more deeply and more quickly than at any other time of the day. This is when your thoughts are freshest. Your will is most receptive, and your subconscious mind is most vulnerable to suggestion, and it is precisely in this window that you must plant the seeds of purpose. You cannot drift through the first hour of your day and expect to rise to greatness. The man who achieves anything of enduring value begins each morning by forming a definite thought, a picture, a command of how the day shall unfold. He does not wait to see what happens, he decides what shall happen, and in that decision he creates the framework of his future. Sit still in the silence of morning. Let the world remain outside for a few more minutes. Do not reach for your phone. Do not listen to the voices of others. Do not read the headlines that sow fear and confusion. Instead, go inward. Direct your first thoughts with care, for they are the spark that ignites the entire engine of your day. Say to yourself with certainty, "Today I shall be focused, I shall be calm, I shall be productive, I will meet challenges with confidence, I will not be swayed by fear, nor will I be distracted by trivial matters. I will move one step closer to my chief aim." This is not idle talk. These are not hollow affirmations to pass the time. These are orders being issued from the captain to the crew. Your subconscious mind is always listening, always responding, always obeying. If you do not tell it where to go, it will follow the path of least resistance. It will fall prey to fear, delay, discouragement, and comfort. But if you command it with clarity, it will begin to organize your thoughts, emotions, and actions to move in harmony with your intention. The man who begins his day with a mental blueprint of what he seeks to accomplish is like a builder standing before a structure that has yet to be built. He holds the plan, he knows the design, he sees what is to come. Others may only see dirt and dust, but he sees a mansion already rising in his mind. So it is with your day. Others may drift into it without direction, but you must rise into it with vision. And if you make this a habit, if each morning without fail you begin with intention, clarity, and purpose, you will soon notice something remarkable. The day will begin to obey you. Circumstances will bend to your will. People will respond to your confidence. You will feel a power moving within you that was once dormant. You will act not from fear, but from faith, not from reaction, but from creation. You may say, "But what if the day does not go according to plan?" Understand this. Success is not in controlling every detail, but in controlling your response to every detail. The man who begins his day with intention cannot be thrown off course for long. He may stumble, yes, but he does not stay down. His mind is rooted, his will is aligned, he knows where he is going, even if the road takes a sudden turn. This is the secret of the great achievers, not their money, not their connections, not even their talent, but their mental discipline, their refusal to surrender the first hour of their day to chance. They use it to prepare, to affirm, to decide, to claim. And the rest of their day follows suit. So tomorrow, do not merely wake up, rise with decision, rise with clarity, rise with the mind of a master, not the mood of a servant. Take the reins of your thoughts and set them upon the road that leads to your purpose. For the man who begins the day in control of his mind soon finds himself in control of his destiny. There is a law, silent yet certain, that governs all men whether they are aware of it or not. It is the law of autosuggestion, the principle by which your thoughts, when repeated with emotion and belief, become your reality. Most drift through life never mastering this principle, and so they become servants of circumstance. But the few, those who rise, achieve, and dominate. They understand that what the mind hears repeatedly, it begins to believe, and what it believes, it begins to create. Each morning, before the world has a chance to speak to you, you must speak to yourself. With force, with conviction, with unwavering intent, the tongue holds power, and the words you choose to declare at the start of your day are not mere sounds, they are commands, they are the bricks with which you build the architecture of your future. You must declare who you are, and you must declare it so often and so passionately that your subconscious mind has no choice but to accept it as fact. Say to yourself, I am strong, I am focused, I am determined, I am a magnet for success, I do not quit, I do not fear, I rise above challenge, I attract opportunity, I am becoming the person I was born to be. Speak these words not like a beggar asking for permission, but like a king giving an order. Speak them not once, but daily, not softly, but boldly, not as if you're hoping they're true, but as if they already are. Your mind does not distinguish between fact and belief. It simply accepts that which is repeated with emotion. It does not care whether your affirmations are currently true. It only responds to the feeling behind them. When you say, I am confident, even if you feel weak, your subconscious begins to adjust your internal chemistry, posture, and behavior to match that command. You may not see it in a day or even a week, but the repetition works like water against rock, subtle, steady, unstoppable. Do not underestimate the simplicity of this act. The greatest truths are often hidden in plain sight, and there is no simpler, more potent tool available to you than the spoken word infused with faith. With it, empires have been built. Without it, even the most talented have crumbled into obscurity. Most people wake up and speak carelessly. They say, I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed, I'm unlucky, I never get a break. And then they wonder why their life reflects exhaustion, chaos, and lack. But the man who knows how this universe works chooses his words like a sculptor chooses his chisel. He knows that each phrase he utters is shaping the statue of his destiny. And let us make one thing clear. This is not about pretending. It is about training. When a soldier trains, he does not say, I hope I am brave. He says, I am brave. He repeats it until his nerves accept it. He acts it until his body obeys. So it is with you. You are not lying to yourself. You are leading yourself. You are programming the machine that governs your actions, and in doing so, you are programming your life. Let your morning affirmations be your daily drill. Do not skip them. Do not mumble them. Do not say them without feeling. The feeling is the ignition. Without it, words are empty. But when charged with belief, they become a force no obstacle can withstand. Say what you desire, say it clearly, say it loudly, and say it as if your life depends on it. Because it does, the mind feeds on input, and what you give it each morning determines what it gives back to you each day. Over time, this practice hardens your spirit. It conditions your will. It trains your subconscious to expect greatness, and in doing so, you begin to behave like a man destined for success. You walk with a different step. You speak with a different tone. You attract different outcomes, not by luck, but by law. So I urge you, beginning tomorrow and every morning thereafter, affirm your greatness, speak your goals, declare your worth. Let no morning pass without the sound of your own voice calling forth the life you desire, for the man who commands his morning with words of power shall live a life that answers to his voice. Your mind is like a garden. Each day, weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity try to creep in, and if you do not consciously choose what to plant in the morning, the world will plant something for you. That is why it is not only wise, but necessary to feed your mind inspiration before you face the day. Just as the body cannot thrive on yesterday's nourishment, the mind cannot flourish on yesterday's motivation. It must be renewed daily. It must be reminded of truth. It must be fed. The most successful individuals in history made it their unbreakable habit to begin their day with uplifting thoughts, thoughts that elevate, thoughts that energize, thoughts that ignite. They understood that your inner state determines your outer results, and that a man who feeds his mind with wisdom in the morning walks into battle with armor. You must make this a sacred ritual. As soon as you have spoken your affirmations, as soon as you have declared your intentions, turn to a source of inspiration. Open a book that speaks to your spirit. Read a line of truth that awakens your strength. Meditate on a passage that reminds you of your purpose. Let these words take root before the noise of the world crowds them out. It does not take much. A paragraph, even a single sentence, can light the fire. You do not need hours, you need intensity. One truth, if absorbed with belief, can alter the trajectory of your entire day. One idea, if embraced fully, can replace fear with faith, confusion with clarity, and hesitation with action. You may say, I don't have time, but I tell you, you don't have time not to. For every minute spent strengthening your mind is an hour saved in decision, in worry, in indecision, and in error. When the mind is aligned with inspiration, it moves forward with force. But when the mind is weak, the body falters, the emotions sway, and the path becomes fogged with uncertainty. You see, life is not won by the strongest body, it is won by the strongest mindset, and mindset must be maintained. It must be sharpened day by day, like a blade honed against stone. The man who feeds his mind inspiration in the morning walks with clarity while others stumble. He sees opportunities where others see obstacles. He feels calm while others are rushed. He is driven not by desperation, but by determination. Choose your sources wisely. Do not reach for the headlines that preach fear. Do not scroll aimlessly through the opinions of strangers. Seek out voices that speak to your spirit, not your ego. Find the writings of the wise. Read the stories of those who endured and overcame. Seek lessons from those who failed, learned, and triumphed. Every page holds a seed. The right seed in the right soil of your mind can produce a harvest beyond your comprehension. And do not merely read. Absorb, pause, reflect, ask yourself, how does this apply to me? What can I take from this and use today? Inspiration is not entertainment. It is equipment. It is the tool you carry with you into the field of action. Read not just with your eyes, but with your spirit. You will notice over time that your thoughts begin to change. Where once there was doubt, now there is confidence. Where once there was confusion, now there is vision. You will find yourself speaking differently, acting differently, living differently, for you have been feeding your mind the nourishment it craves. You have been building the internal structure upon which external results are formed. Do this each morning, and the effects compound. Each day builds on the last. Each truth adds to the foundation. Soon you find yourself unshakable, not because life has become easier, but because you have become stronger. So I say to you, begin your mornings with purpose. Feed your body, yes, but more importantly, feed your mind. Seek out inspiration as if your life depended on it, because in many ways it does. The man who fills his mind with light in the morning will not be overcome by darkness in the day, for the one who chooses his thoughts with wisdom chooses his future with certainty. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. That is no idle phrase. It is a law, one of the invisible, unbreakable laws that governs all achievement, all creation, all progress. Long before a man ever builds a business, writes a book, or touches the heights of greatness, he must first see it, not with his eyes, but with the vivid vision of his imagination. And that vision must be planted, nurtured, and revisited every single morning. There is a magnificent power that lies dormant in every individual, a faculty so misunderstood and so underused it goes neglected by nearly all, but mastered by the few who rise above mediocrity. That power is the ability to visualize with purpose, to see in your mind the life you wish to live, the person you intend to become, and the results you aim to achieve, and more than just seeing it. You must feel it, believe it, and walk in it as if it were already your reality. Every morning, before you give yourself to the demands of the world, take time to sit still and build your vision. Let no day begin without creating first in your mind what you expect to manifest in your life. This is not fantasy, this is not idle daydreaming, it is concentrated, intentional mental rehearsal, it is the blueprinting of your destiny. Close your eyes and build the picture. See yourself living in abundance, not lack. See yourself healthy, energized, filled with enthusiasm. See yourself walking with purpose, making decisions with clarity, speaking with confidence. Walk through your dream as if you are already there. Sit at the desk in your future office, shake hands with the people you hope to meet, sign the deal, step onto the stage, hear the applause, breathe the air of that new reality and make it real to your senses. Why is this powerful? Because the subconscious mind accepts what it sees, especially what it sees repeatedly and with emotion. It begins to align your thoughts, decisions, and behaviors with the image you have planted. Like a compass, it starts to pull you in the direction of your dominant mental picture, and over time, through this invisible pull, your outer world bends to match your inner vision. You may ask, but what if my current life does not reflect that vision? That is precisely why you must visualize. The power lies not in where you are, but in where you are going. Your present circumstances are not permanent. They are temporary results of past thinking. But your future is built on today's vision, and if that vision is bold, clear, and unwavering, the future must yield to it. The tragedy is that most people use this power unconsciously, and in reverse, they visualize failure, they imagine worst-case scenarios, they picture embarrassment, rejection, and defeat, and what happens? Their subconscious mind obeys, guiding them steadily toward the very outcomes they feared. But you are not most people. You are among the few who will consciously create. You will visualize success, not once in a while, not only when things go well, but every single morning. This is the time to program your belief system, the time to rehearse victory, the time to condition your nervous system to accept success as normal, natural, and expected. Athletes do not win on the field unless they have first won in their mind. Entrepreneurs do not build empires unless they have first constructed them in their imagination. Speakers do not move audiences unless they have first moved themselves with a vision of the message and the impact. And you, no matter your current status, can begin today. All that is required is quiet, focus, and belief. Set aside 5 minutes, sit alone, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and begin building. Each day, add more detail to the image. Make it richer, add sound, movement, color, emotion. Walk through it like a film, and soon that film becomes your future. This habit, this small but powerful daily practice, will begin to transform your life. You will notice your confidence rising, your goals becoming more clear, your energy increasing. You will walk through your day not as one who hopes, but as one who expects. And expectation is magnetic. It draws toward it the very things that fulfill it. So take up the power of visualization. Make it your morning companion. Use it not as a luxury, but as a necessity, for the man who sees his future with clarity will meet it with certainty. Every man who achieves anything of substance in this world lives by one eternal principle, clarity of purpose. Without it, effort is scattered, time is wasted, energy is divided. But with it, just as a magnifying glass focuses sunlight to start a fire, your mind focuses its full power on the few tasks that move you forward. That is why every morning, without fail, you must write down your most vital objectives for the day. Do not trust your goals to memory. The mind, though brilliant, is easily distracted. The moment you wake, your attention is under siege. Notifications, worries, interruptions, they all clamor for your focus. If you do not claim your priorities, the world will assign them for you, and so, as part of your sacred morning ritual, you must take pen to paper and decide what matters, but do not write down 10 things. That is not focus, it is clutter. Success is not achieved by doing many things poorly, but by doing a few things with excellence. Choose 3, just 3 specific, meaningful tasks that, if accomplished today, will move you forward on your definite chief aim. Perhaps they are small, perhaps they are large, that is not the point. What matters is that they are aligned with your vision, that they are not busy work, but building blocks, not distractions, but deliberate actions that carve the path toward your greater destiny. The act of writing them down is more powerful than most men realize. It is not merely a list. It is a contract with yourself. You are saying, this is what I will do, this is where I will direct my strength, this is what I will complete before I lay my head down again. In doing so, you create not only clarity but commitment. You will find, as you make this a daily habit, that your days begin to carry momentum. You are no longer drifting from one task to the next. You are advancing strategically, deliberately, with purpose. Each completed task becomes a victory, and victories, no matter how small, compound. They build belief, they generate energy, they form the habit of completion, and soon you find yourself doing not only what is expected, but what is exceptional. Beware the temptation to overcomplicate. Simplicity is the ally of execution. Do not spend hours designing elaborate systems. What you need is a blank sheet of paper and an honest mind. Ask yourself, what 3 things, if done today, will bring me closer to my goals? Then write them. Circle them, commit to them. You may say, but I have many responsibilities. And that may be true, but even amidst the demands of life, you must protect time for the essential. Let your 3 objectives be the anchor points in your day. Do them first, if you can. Do them with intensity, even if the time is short. The man who completes 3 meaningful tasks each day will outpace the man who completes 30 meaningless ones. Discipline is born in decision. And decision is strengthened by daily repetition. By choosing your 3 objectives each morning, you train your mind to focus. You condition your character to follow through. You begin to live not reactively, but proactively. There is magic in completion. Each time you cross off a goal, you send a signal to your subconscious. I am a finisher. I do what I set out to do. I am capable. I am focused. I am driven. That message seeps deeper with each passing day until it becomes your identity. And once you see yourself as a doer, as a producer, as a builder, there is no limit to what you can accomplish. Let the world be busy, let others be distracted, but you will live by intention. You will rise each day and take control. You will move steadily toward your vision, one day, one decision, one task at a time. So tomorrow, as the sun rises, sit quietly, take your journal, write down 3 goals that matter, and as you write, know this, you are not just planning a day, you are building a life. For the man who chooses his priorities chooses his destiny. There are 2 kinds of men in this world, those who wake up and react, and those who wake up and command. One stumbles into the day already behind, already pulled by forces beyond his control. The other steps into the morning like a general into the war room, with clarity, with resolve, with a mind sharpened and soul stirred. And mark this well, the man who claims the morning inevitably commands the day. You must understand a simple yet transformative truth. Success is not something that happens to you. It is something that responds to you. It answers the voice of the prepared, the disciplined, the intentional. And nowhere is this more evident than in the first hour of the morning, for it is in this window of silence, before the chaos of the world erupts, that you lay the foundation upon which your actions, and ultimately your results, will be built. Think for a moment on how most begin their day. They awaken not by decision, but by obligation. Their minds are flooded not with purpose, but with pressure. They check messages, dive into tasks, and sprint into motion without ever considering who they want to be or what they want to build. And so they live in reaction. They are pushed by urgency, not pulled by purpose. Their days are noisy, scattered, and directionless, but not the man who rises with intention. No, he is a different breed. He rises before the world reaches for him. He begins not with activity, but with stillness. He does not rush toward the outer world until he has first shaped his inner world. He prays or meditates, he visualizes. He affirms, he plans, he reads, he feeds the mind before he feeds the body, and in doing so, he creates momentum, not random, scattered momentum, but deliberate, focused power aimed in a definite direction. This momentum is no accident. It is the consequence of ritual born of understanding. You must come to see your morning not as a time to rush through, but as sacred ground. The mind in those early moments is pliable. It is free from the distractions of the day, and when you fill it with clarity, conviction, and vision, it begins to work for you. It begins to generate the thoughts, emotions, and actions required to fulfill your purpose. Do not wait until noon to decide what kind of day you will have. Decide early, decide first, decide deliberately, for when you do, you will notice that the chaos around you has less power. Distractions become smaller. Your responses become stronger, your steps become more certain, you are no longer running from fires, you are building your empire. Let no one tell you that how you begin your day does not matter. It matters more than most ever realize. The man who owns the morning owns the mindset, and the man who owns the mindset owns the results. There is something spiritual, almost divine, about early discipline. When the world still sleeps, you rise. When others drift, you design. You become a man in motion, but not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Your very presence begins to carry weight because it is backed by preparation, conviction, and intentionality. This is why you must treat your morning routine not as a luxury, but as a necessity. Guard it. Protect it. Do not allow laziness, fatigue, or comfort to rob you of it. Do not treat it casually. Treat it as the most important meeting of your day, because it is. It is a meeting between you and your future. The habits formed in those first moments will echo throughout every action you take. A scattered morning leads to a scattered afternoon and ultimately a fruitless evening. But a structured morning, one forged by discipline and guided by purpose, will shape a day filled with execution, progress, and results. You may not control the events of the day. Storms may come, interruptions may arrive. But the man who has anchored himself in the morning cannot be easily shaken. He is not a reed bent by every gust of wind. He is a mountain rooted in his vision. So tomorrow, rise with purpose, rise before the noise. Step into silence, claim your thoughts, speak your affirmations, visualize your future, write your goals, read your inspiration, and then, only then, step into the world. For the man who commands the morning does not just survive the day, he masters it. And the man who masters his days masters his life.